JKB back with another episode. Today on the show, I'm reviewing Sine Mora EX for the Nintendo Switch. This game goes for $29.99 on the eShop. I'd like to thank THQ for the review copy. Sine Mora, which stands for without delay in Latin, is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up bullet hell game. Now, these things go back to when I was like 8 years old, going to the corner store, getting pizza, playing these little arcade machines, having an absolute blast. So anytime I get a side-scroller on the show, especially bullet hell, I'm so excited about it. But in saying that, of course, is this game worth the money? I mean, $29 for a side-scroller is pretty expensive. So we'll find out by the end of the review if you should be picking this up for this price. Now, the game doesn't rely on the traditional player health mechanic, but instead you rely on an aspect of time. Now, at the beginning of each level, you're given a set amount of time. When you take damage during the level, you'll actually speed up that clock. And when the clock runs out, you die, except you can eliminate enemies, which will add time back to your counter. It's a very unique idea, and I really, at the beginning, had no goddamn idea what the hell was going on. As for the story of the game, which I'm not going to spoil in this review, it's mostly about revenge. There's an evil empire that's out there destroying planets, murdering other pilots, and it's your job, essentially, to get revenge. Gameplay is absolutely gorgeous and rendered in full 3D. Now, during the cutscenes, the camera will swing around the plane and give you a bigger sense of the environments, which really does help the story and the game overall. However, the gameplay is locked into the 2D bullet hell side-scroller shooter that we all know and love. As the game started, I got so confused because I saw this counter, it didn't really explain it to me, or maybe I just totally missed it, but it starts counting down and I'm taking damage and the counter's going faster, and then I realized, oh, I'm killing people and it's going back into the counter, so that's what this game is about. However, it changes up the whole strategy of the side-scrolling shoot 'em up, because back in the day you didn't have to kill all the enemies. Now it's kind of important that you do so. So at the beginning, the upgrade system for the weapons was very confusing to me as well, because I was picking up these red orbs and I noticed that my guns were getting more powerful and more bullets were coming out. But it wasn't until later when I realized they kind of changed that up a little bit as well. There are different colored orbs that are kind of like representing different upgrades for your plane. The red orbs will increase the amount of bullets coming out of the plane. There's like a blue orb that has your special ability, which is like a mega blast of energy that comes out of your plane. You have to pay attention to that meter as well. And then that also goes into a slow motion mode, which I thought was really cool, because in bullet hell shooters, you really have to avoid a lot of bullets. You do have the ability to hold a button and put it into slow mo. One of the cool yet frustrating aspects of this is when you get hit, you lose all of your red orbs. And you gotta kind of collect them quickly before they spread across the screen and you lose them forever. Think of like Sonic the Hedgehog with his rings. It can be very frustrating at times, but it kind of does work in a game like this. But it's like one hit and you lose it all. You gotta collect them again and get your bullets up to top level again. It's frustrating, let's say that. Boss battle encounters seem to be happening almost every 10 seconds in this game. Huge, epic steampunk bosses. I mean, I'm talking things that are like air fortresses and squids and fish, all sorts of weird shits coming at you. They have different target points that you have to take out, different weapons you have to take out, different weapons you have to avoid. That's where the special ability for slow motion comes into play. I absolutely love the boss battles in this. However, when you get hit once by one bullet in a bullet hell shooter like this, you lose all of your upgrades, which is like, I don't know. A lot of people are going to either love that or hate it. Let's go over the pros and cons. I'm going to start with the cons first. Voiceover is completely hit or miss in this. I have no idea why. Some of it's okay and some of it's like just horrendous. I understand that the game was not ported to ever be in English until the EX version, from what I'm believing. So this is something new to the game, and it's hit and miss. It's just not that good. The price of the game at $29.99 does seem a little high. $29? I don't know about that. It's impossible in some situations to avoid getting hit. That's one frustration that, a lot of people are going to be on the fence about. Because this game really does punish you for being hit once by removing all of your power-ups, it is so frustrating that you can't avoid some situations. The music is completely forgettable. I honestly don't remember any of it at the time of recording this, and the hit detection seems to be a little off. I mean, it's made clear when you're in slow motion mode that certain bullets seem to go through you and other ones don't. And it's like, okay, this is a bullet hell shooter. Shouldn't that be down? Shouldn't that be 100% working? But no, hit detection is a little off. Now, let's go to the pros. The speed up ability, which slows everything down, I know that sounds confusing, is really cool. To bring that down to a crawl and let you avoid getting hit. That's the coolest part of this game. The portability is another pro. Having this on the Nintendo Switch is something that I'm just so happy about. Even though it's not the most joyous game and the story is really, really serious at times, and I know that, yes, we're dealing with cartoon characters on a video game, but I mean, we're talking about death and an evil empire, and things just don't work together. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching JKB, and I'll see you in the next episode of JKB.